struggle with many things, alcohol, anger, post-traumatic stress, relationships, and on and on. Like last, I qualified for everything out there on the board. What's interesting, when I first came to Celebrate Recovery, when they started it, I told them I'll be glad to help with it. I don't think I got many problems. Little that I know. And it's amazing that we live with these issues for so long that we don't recognize them. And so as I start my testimony, I'd like to talk a little bit about the people I served with. As I was reading this testimony in Romans 9:20-21, best described my testimony. Those of you who have heard my past testimonies, I have several testimonies. I grew up in a dysfunctional home, had to deal with the physical, mental abuse, had to deal with dyslexia. But Romans 9:20 says, "But what the molded say to the molder, why have you made me like this? As the potter will write over his clay, to make out the same lump, or an object for special use and another for ordinary use." In our lives, much work is needed to transform the crude chunks of clay that represent our lives. We are skillfully transformed by the Master's hands into a masterpiece. Being in Celebrate Recovery, I serve with those masterpieces who's been through the fire. Today, the people I serve with are people who were once ex-convicts, ex-prostitutes, ex-drug dealers, ex-thieves. Some grew up in drug homes. Some have been mentally and physically and sexually abused and have never known the love of a mother or father. You see, as they allow the master potter to remove the scars and blemishes, their hearts and souls were filled with God's Spirit. And as their hearts and souls were filled with God's Spirit, they lost their desire for the material and pleasure things of this world. They now work tirelessly taking the gospel to the streets, the homeless shelters, the missions, to the drug addict, to the alcoholic, to anyone that is struggling. You will not find their names on any marquees, but you find their names on the phones of those who are struggling with many issues of life. Someone they can call at any time of day or night when they get the urge to get back on drugs or alcohol or return to their own life. And they will hear a message of love, hope, and encouragement. The Master Potter has taken his once broken lives and turned into a masterpiece for his glory. And as you listen to my testimony this afternoon, you will see how God has used this great tragedy and Celebrate Recovery in my life to turn this tragedy into a glory for his. It was in the early months of 1966. I was serving as a platoon sergeant in the 3rd Platoon, Charlie Company, 1st Recon, in July, Vietnam. I was 23 years old, and at the time a large number of Viet Cong had been reported about 10 to 12 miles from the base, possibly planning an attack to attack the base. I was sent to that region with 3 other recon Marines to try to locate the Viet Cong. We were dropped in by helicopter and made our way to a small mountain overlooking a large rice paddy, and on the south side of the rice paddy was a village. The second day of our mission, about 80 Viet Cong came out of the jungle and began training in the rice paddy in front of us. Can I get water?
Water?
Yeah. I made a decision to call artillery on the Viet Cong. I had 16 155 hours that were assigned to this mission. Most of the time when you call for one spotter round to be fired and make any corrections needed over that spotter round. But I knew if I fired the spotter round, the Viet Cong would just disappear into the jungle before we could inflict any damage on them. I made the decision to give the command, fire corvette, which means fire all 16 guns. The rounds fell well short of the target, assignment in the village. And before we could get to command ceasefire, we lay to our artillery command post. I remember hearing the faint sounds of 16 booms as the second volley was being fired. And I remember praying, please God, don't let these rounds hit the village. There was a short silence, and another 16 rounds hit the village. The artillery rounds pretty much destroyed the village, and the rest of the night and all through the day, we heard the screams and cries of men, women, and children who were badly hurt, traumatized, and dying. Sometimes during the night, during that night, I heard the long wail of a woman. I knew she had probably just lost a loved one. The next day we watched as they buried those killed. I was in a state of shock. I was devastated by what happened. I was 23 years old, and I just killed a long list of people, including women and children. I kept what happened to the village a secret. I never told anybody, not even my family or close friends. And for the next 50 years, I was haunted with nightmares, daytime flashbacks of what happened to the people in that village. And the long wail of that woman haunted me to the point of suicidal thoughts. I was medically discharged because of injury during my second tour in Vietnam. Soon after leaving the Marines, my nightmares began to occur. At times, a little girl, about 6 or 7 years old, would appear, and she would just stand there and stare at me. I would try to reach out and hold her. I wanted to tell her I was sorry for what happened to the village. But each time I reached out to hold her, she would disappear. I was always confused because she didn't look like a Vietnamese child. She looked like an American child. When the nightmares would occur, I would have daytime flashbacks. The sounds of what happened to the village and the Vietnamese people would play like a recording over and over in my mind for weeks at a time, and I'd always go into a deep depression. I didn't tell anybody what I was going through. Through the years, I began to distance myself like most veterans, isolate myself from my children and my family, seldom went to any family functions, went through several divorces, and seldom even visit my kids. I only slept about 3 hours a night. I'd go to bed about midnight and be awake until 3 o'clock in the morning. I was always the first one to move. I built the same wall of defense that we built up on the battlefield, with no close relationship with anyone, not even my children. Like many veterans with post-traumatic stress, my coping mechanism was alcohol. Holidays were always bad. I'm thinking the families of the men I lost in Vietnam, and the sadness of those families had to endure on these special days. The village would also haunt me at Christmas time, thinking of the families and the children and the extent of some of their injuries. I always think how many children were killed or injured or severely traumatized. I didn't feel I had a right to celebrate Christmas. I didn't want to buy anybody anything. I didn't want to receive any presents. I just wanted to be alone. I didn't have much of a prayer life at this point because the war had caused me to believe God didn't care about any of us. After I was injured during my second tour in Vietnam, I was sent to the Naval Hospital in Memphis, Tennessee. And there I learned my platoon had been ambushed, and most were killed 3 days after I was medevaced off the battlefield. I can remember the night I was injured. It was at night and he couldn't back me out until the next morning. And I remember the men asking me, who's going to take over? There's nobody left with any experience. Do you think you'll be back? The next morning, when they lowered me on the chopper, and I left the battlefield, I remember thinking, I'm going to live. I'm going to get to see my children. Only that I realized them words are going to haunt me for the rest of my life. When I found out the men were killed, I became very angry with God. And I swore on that day, I'll go to hell before I'll ever kneel, bow, or pray to the God that didn't allow me to be with my men in the ambush. I was a potential and counted on me. I felt I let him down. I blamed God for my injury, and for the next 20 years, I lived on the dark side of alcohol, anger, many affairs, 2 divorces. After witnessing what happens on the battlefield, it's hard to believe that God cares about what happens to earth. I'll never forget my first experience was in August 1965. We made a landing in July, Vietnam. I lost 3 friends in the first 30 minutes of that battle. I witnessed a battlefield where over 600 Viet Cong lay dead. And I remember thinking, how many children will never again see their father? Our mothers or wives will even know what happened to their husbands or sons. We passed through a village where the women and children had been caught in a crossfire between the Americans and the Viet Cong. No amount of training. No amount of training could ever prepare you for the horror of what happened to their village. And I remember thinking, God, if you're real, why would you let this happen? We came to another village that had not been touched by the war. All the women in the village were in line on their knees. They were crying. They were holding up bits of food. They were begging for their lives. I can't imagine what this day was like for these women. War being waged all around their village. Many of their husbands and sons killed, who were forced to serve in the Viet Cong army. And now foreign troops entered their village. They were told by the Viet Cong that the Marines were called devil dogs, and we would kill and rape them all, including the women and children. I was standing in front of the line of the women, trying to communicate that we're not going to harm anyone, when one of the women tried to hand me her baby. The baby was only 2 or 3 months old, and she thought she could save her baby by giving it to me. That's been over 50 years ago. I still can visualize this woman's face so clearly. If I was an artist, I could paint it today. She made a lasting impression on me holding that baby. And I still remember the panic in her eyes. Those tears running all the way down her face to the ground. Begging me in a language I could not understand. But I knew what she was saying, just as she was speaking English. She was trying to get me to take the baby. She was saying, please take my baby. Please take my baby. I want to save my baby's life. I want to save my baby's life. As I was looking at her and those tears running down her face, I remember thinking, I've seen enough killing today. I hope I never have to see no more. That wasn't the case. I asked God several times that day, where are you? If you're a loving God, why while you let this happen. I also have many memories I treasure. Being a recon Marine, I got to serve with the elite few. Only 1.5% make it through the tough recon training. I got to witness men who were willing to give their lives to complete their mission or die to save their brother. We spent 50% of our time operating behind enemy lines, gathering information. We operated in 4 to 6 man teams, and before each mission, we made a commitment to each other. We'll all come back together, or we'll all die together. We'll never leave our brother behind. I remember my tour was up, and I got in the Jeep to leave. I broke down, and I cried. I knew I was leaving a godly bond with my fellow men that I would never experience, where everything was shared, where we make sacrifices for each other, even if it costs us our lives. John 15:13 says, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down your life for a friend." The closest feeling I have ever had, close to this, is the friends I've made in the step studies, in the small groups inside of recovery. On one of our recon missions, we were about 3 days into our mission when we got the message over radio that we were to assassinate a North Vietnamese general. He was traveling with 700 Vietcong soldiers. We got the coordinates of the route that the general would be traveling. Headquarters gave us a description of the formation. There would be an advance party of 2 to 5 men, and after that there would be a larger formation of Vietcong soldiers, and the third group would be a large group, around 200 soldiers, and the general would be with that group. We were to identify him by his uniform. All I can remember is that he would have the red on his shoulder pads. This was a suicide mission. They were going to sacrifice a recon team with his general's life. Once we fired and killed the general, we were going to be attacked by 200 Vietcong soldiers. There was only 6 of us. We were about 40 miles from our lines. We had no chance of any support, any artillery, any air power. As the mission was explained to the men, you could see the look on their faces when they realized we were on a suicide mission. No one complained or even said this is crazy. We thought we would sacrifice our lives by killing the general. We would be saving the lives of other soldiers. We arrived about dark at our ambush position. It was in a swamp. As it got dark, we were attacked by mosquitoes. They were so thick, they covered your face, got in your nose, and even made it hard to breathe at times. You could wipe your hand across your face, and it'd be covered with blood, your blood with dead mosquitoes. We had mosquito repellent, but it never deterred those mosquitoes. As the sun rose in the morning, I looked down the line of men, and their faces were swollen from mosquito bites. Right next to me, one of his eyes was almost swollen shut. We didn't have very long to wait, and 2 Vietcong were in our position, and every man slid his rifle to his shoulder. I remember looking at the sun rising in the sky and saying to myself, take a good look, because this is going to be the last sunrise you're ever going to see. And then I prayed. I said, God, I'm not asking you to spare my life. I'm asking you to give me the courage I need today. If I am to die today, let me die with honor. Don't let my courage fail me. Let me go down fighting. And I pray for God to look after my children and ease the pain of my death and my family. All of our missions were classified secret. None of us wanted to die, but we were willing to save the lives of others. I knew how Jesus felt in the Garden of Gethsemane In Matthew 26:13, Jesus fell on his face and he prayed, "O my Father, if possible, let this cup pass from me. But nevertheless, not my will, but as you will." But we were blessed. That general changed his route or direction. He was traveling. We waited most of the day and he never passed. We probably all thought he was going to hear about shooter one day. So here I am this evening giving this testimony. But what an honor I had for God to let me serve with those men that were willing to give their lives for the country without complaining. Can you see the heart of God in these young men? Most of 18 to 22 years old. These are some of the memories, as you hear later in my testimony, when I got close to suicide, remembering the men that I served with and their bravery and kept me in my life. One night, after 20 years of living an immoral, alcoholic life, 2 divorces, I hit bottom. And I was sitting in my company truck and I began to cry. And I felt that hard thump on my shoulder and the voice said, "It's almost over." And I remember thinking, how could God still love me after the life I've led for the past 20 years, after I've cursed his name many times. But I could feel God's sympathy, and I could feel his pity for my pain. Romans 5:8 says, God proved his love for us while we were still sinners. Christ died for us. My life began to change the very next day, and God began to move some obstacles that were holding me back. I began to experience some spiritual growth. It was a year and a half later I married a Christian woman, Judy. I made sure we went to church every Sunday. I began letting God be a part of my life. I served in inner cities and the church that we were attending while we were still living in St. Louis. And in 1997, I transferred my job to Springfield, Missouri. And I got involved in the children's ministry for 3 years, and then I joined Sober Recovery. Here at Ridgecrest Baptist Church, where I didn't have any problems. Summer recovery is where I realized how bad a shape my life really was in. And the steps studied in small groups gave me a lot of healing. I got into a program on post-traumatic stress, which was called long-term exposure treatment. It's a really tough program. It goes on for 8 weeks. You got to deal with the worst problem in your life. And when I first started that program, the village was one of the issues I had to deal with. I'm crying some hard over what's going on. And after I completed the program, the psychiatrist said, "We thought you would never come back every week, because most veterans quit with a trauma like you had." But I've been sober recovered for a long time, and I was used to dealing with traumas. And I never quit. And I thank sober recovery for that. It taught me. Stick it out. I grew up in a Catholic church. I went to a Catholic church about 40 years ago. In 2014, my wife and I started attending the Catholic church right next door to St. Nancy. I bought myself a rosary, and praying the rosary every day. It was still hard for me to pray because I still had a lot of anger in God because of what happened in Vietnam. Even though I was bringing the gospel into prisons and jails and sober recovery, I was struggling trying to pray. I was not trusting God to guide my life. I was bringing the gospel to everyone to me. When I'd be praying the rosary, Satan reminded me of my alcoholic years, sinful years, and all those I've heard. But over time, praying that rosary almost every day, I noticed my anger at God slowly began to diminish, and Satan's influence over me lost printer, girls who began to fade. But what happened to that village in Vietnam still haunted me every day. I still do some work with Pipeline I retired from in 2007. I was working alone in Texas in April of 2015. I had to go to Walmart to pick up some supplies I needed for the job. I was standing in the checkout line when a small child started crying and then screaming. By the time I got out of that store, I was having flashbacks of the village, and I was crying. I was listening to my truck radio when I heard a guy fall off the water and was killed. And for the next 3 days, I didn't sleep. I kept thinking, if I could just climb that water tower ladder and let go, get all the way. I began to have out-of-body experiences as if I had just climbed to the top of the water tower and let go of that ladder. I could actually feel myself floating through the air, free of all the pain, all the guilt, the grief. There would be no more nightmares, no more daytime flashbacks, no more hearing the screams of the wounded and dying villagers, and never again to hear the long wail of the Vietnamese woman and wonder who I killed her family. But I also knew I was in battle with Satan for my life and soul. I felt so alone. And the only one who knew what I was going through was the little girl in my dreams. And I felt a deep need to see the little girl. I can remember saying, "Where are you, little girl? I need you. I need to see you. You're the only one that knows what I'm going through." And then God put a vision of that little girl's face. On his seven eyelids. And all I had to do was close my eyes, and there would be a picture. The vision of her helped me get through the next 3 days and get through the many emotional breakdowns and the temptations in my life. When I finally got home, the vision of that little girl, the back of my eyelids disappeared and has never appeared again. When I got home, I was still very deeply depressed and alone. I told no one what I was going through. It's really hard for a veteran to relate his experience on the battlefield. It's just emotionally hard to talk about and what we're going through. The next Sunday, my wife and I attended church, and I picked up a pamphlet from St. Therese. She's a Catholic saint, the child of Jesus. And she said in the pamphlet, "My mission is to make God loved, and I will begin after my death." And she said, "I will spend my time in heaven doing good on earth, and I will let fall a shower of roses, and countless lives have been touched by her intercessions." I started praying again in Novena to St. Therese for help. And Novena is a series of specific prayers for 9 days at a time. Saints can't perform miracles, but as Catholics, we ask them through prayer to intercede for us and take our needs to Jesus, just as you ask people to pray for you on prayer chains. I was on the 5th day of my Novena when my wife and I took our horses and went to one of our favorite places to ride, a place called Caney Mountain in Big Flat, Arkansas. It's a very beautiful and peaceful place. On the evening of the 3rd day, about 10 of us were sitting on the porch, talking and some were playing music, when a couple came from Central Illinois. When a couple came from South Illinois, arrived at the horse camp, Rob and Karen, and they had a little girl called Lady. Lady was a little girl I'd seen in my nightmare for the past 50 years. Wrong one. Wrong one. Hey. told anyone that night what had happened. I was having a hard time believing myself. The next morning, when I invited his mom Karen, I found out that he had a disease called tumorous, which caused tumors on the brain, resulting in seizures. I felt the need to hold Lady, but I'm not sure how this would take place. I still hadn't told anybody. When we got back from riding, my wife Judy was paying our bill as we were getting ready to head home. I was sitting on the porch, and Lady and Mom came up and sat down next to me. It took all the courage I had to tell her the story of the village, and she made it in range. Tears running down my eyes and trying to get the story across. And I wondered, would she even believe me? I think I was nuts. She just handed me Davy. And as I held her, she laid her head on my chest, and the outline of her body began to get warm. I knew at this time a miracle was happening. And I remember thinking God has sent a broken little girl in this world to heal this little inventor. It was on May 29, 2015. And on that day, my nightmares ended, and the flashbacks and sights and sounds of what happened to the village have been emotionally gone. Amy's health was greatly improved. Shortly after, she was put on a new medication. And just recently, she had an MRI, and the tumors in her brain are gone. They haven't grown. About a month after the miracle, I began doubting myself. I asked Amy's mom if she could send me some pictures. And she told me she had taken some pictures and a cross appeared in one of the pictures of the beach. Can you see the gold cross on the beach? That was the beach of sand. And it came out of the picture as gold. About 3 weeks later, they were taking some more, they were trail riding and took some more pictures. Can you see the tree crossed up there? This stuff on the ground, we don't know what it is. When you blow it up, it's all floating above the ground. I've had other people tell me what they thought about that tree cross. And then, it was the last week in November, we invited some friends over actually, that morning I prayed in Vina for 80. I pray for her every morning. And that morning after I prayed in Vina St. Therese, I reminded her I promised her a shower of roses, and I asked, "Are you ever going to show me a rose?" My wife was substitute teaching, and she was going out the door, and she turned around, and she said, "Invite our friends, Steve and Susan, over for supper." As we were sitting there eating supper, Susan says, "Hey, let me show you pictures of this rose I took today." The rose bush was planted by a World War II veteran. He had passed away. Susan became the caregiver for the veteran's wife. She saw the rose bush was in bad shape, and she began to put banana peelings around the bush to help it grow. The rose bush bloomed November 29th, the same day I asked St. Therese, "Are you ever going to show me a rose?" And that day Susan took the picture. And there's also a cross, and there's also a wire cross. Now, if you can see it, I didn't know that cross was in there until I had the testimony here in Gary's. I'm still attending celibate recovery at age 76. I'm still working on my recovery. It's a lifelong mission. I'm involved in Southern Recovery Small Chemical Group Leader, a Christian church in Raleigh, where I live. I'm not sure I'd be here today if I had not gotten involved in CR. It showed me to get through their very rough times until God has such a healing in my life. Will I totally be ever totally healed? No. No, I won't. Because it's the pain and the thoughts that keeps my heart softened and keeps me coming working with people. I now thank God for the road He brought me. I used to curse His name, and I sang many times. I thank you, Jesus, for the dysfunctional home, for the dyslexia, for the mental and physical abuse, for the war, and all the pain. Because I'm taking that pain through self-recovery, and I've had an opportunity to change many lives. I believe God has a plan for all our lives. In Jeremiah 1:5 it says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. I ordained you to be a prophet to the nations." I urge everyone here tonight to keep attending Celebrate Recovery. Join a step study like me. Keep working on your recovery. So one day when you stand before God on Judgment Day, He will be able to say, "You did become the masterpiece I created you to be." Thank you.